going through a marriage breakdown, which in a sense destroyed me. But within myself, I knew I needed to get some help. So I was originally looking for a psychologist. The second or third one I called, booked out, but she suggested a men's group, which I actually didn't even know existed.
Hey guys, what's up and welcome back again where it's all about stepping up. I'm back on the road again around the Gold Coast, this time catching up with another dear friend of mine, Josh Cleary, who we'll get to hear from him his personal experiences of what he's had to go through in navigating his mental states, from some of the harsh things that he had to go through in order to get to a place where he's now more in control of the outcomes of what he would like to see in the future, not only for himself but for his family too. But hey, I won't give away too much, as I'd like for you to all stick around and hear what he has to share with us, so you can learn from him the steps that he's taken to improve his situation just that little bit more each and every day. And so without further ado, let's dive back into the show. Today I'm back on the Gold Coast, here catching up with another dear friend of mine who's also a special guest on today's show with On the Road with Tar. And just before we dive into the show, I just want to introduce just quickly Josh, and we'll get to hear his story. I won't give away too much. So Josh, if you don't mind, can you just share a little bit about yourself and your background?
Yeah, so I'm 40, I've got 3 kids, wife, living on the Gold Coast at the moment. I grew up in Victoria, moved to the Gold Coast, recently moved back from Hervey Bay from being up there for 2 years, and yeah, ready to move on again.
Okay, so before we continue on, can you recall how we met and where we met?
Yeah, so we met at Complete Men, Coomera.
And how did you actually get involved with attending the meetings at Complete Men?
Yeah, so at the time, I was living in Coomera, going through a marriage breakdown, which in a sense destroyed me. But within myself, I knew I needed to get some help. So I was originally looking for a psychologist, and the ones that I was calling were all booked out, and I think like the second or third one I called booked out, but she suggested a men's group, which I actually didn't even know existed. So went online, looked up men's groups, Complete Men came up, signed up, and yeah, attended my first meeting, so which was really nerve-wracking. Didn't really know what to expect, but yeah, I did it for myself. I knew I needed some help. Tim, the founder of it, called me a little bit before my first meeting, and that helped calm the nerves. So, yeah.
In attendance, was it on your first visit there that you managed to step through the door to the meeting, or was it a second time you had to come back to finally get through the door, or was it on the first?
It was the first meeting. I walked through the doors. Yeah, as I said, I was pretty anxious about it. As I said, didn't really know that there was even men's groups out there. So, yeah.
How did you feel at that time when you finally discovered that something new you'd never heard of, a men's group? What was that feeling?
It's good to know that there is services out there to help people, not just men, but yeah, it, it's nice to know that it's not just a psychologist that you have to see. There's other support services out there.
So have you found it throughout the meetings that you were attending? What were some of the benefits that you saw within you?
Uh, basically, um, all feelings are valid. I've grown up my whole life keeping my feelings in. They definitely tend to get to a boiling point and come out in the wrong ways. But men's group, all feelings are valid. No judgment. A sense of belonging, knowing that other men can be going through the same shit. So, yeah.
What was what would be some of the things that helped you to maybe change a certain part of your life that you wanted to improve on? Was there a particular route that you took to begin certain changes that you needed to, or what was something that started the progress of improvement?
Um, when I was first going through the marriage breakdown, my basically my one and only best friend was really supportive, and I think one of the key features was that just going out and doing something for myself. We went out to one of his mates' farms and it was like, yep, let's go out to Justin's farm and go ride motorbikes and whatever. So that was really good to get out of my mind at that time. But yeah, just the support of him and being there for me was really good. But I think getting out and doing something for me was a key feature. Yeah.
Nice. So, within the program of Complete Men's, recently you you went on a camp trip. What did that camp trip entail? Going to it, or you know?
Yeah, so I organised the camp trip. That was a process in itself, being anxious and committing to organising it. But at the start of the year, I think it was the start of the year, we were talking about a camp trip and all that. But I think the weather sort of got too cold, so it sort of got put on the back burners. And yeah, we recently, the family went out to a farm down south and absolutely loved the property.
What was the actual camp trip for?
Uh, just some bonding to get away from it all. Just the men and no responsibilities. Yeah, it was just basically bonding, getting back to nature sort of trip. I know the guys that came sort of needed that break and to do something for themselves and to just be with some guys that we're all ourselves in some way, but we all got along really well. And yeah.
Yo, what's up? And thanks again for tuning back in. And look, if you're finding value in today's show, please subscribe and hit that like button, as it helps this channel to grow so we can reach out to individuals or communities willing to share their stories so that others like yourself or someone you know of can use the steps and strategies that help them help you in navigating your mental states. So without further ado, let's dive back into the show. Oh, that's great to hear. So I gathered everyone had a good time.
Yeah, we did. It was an experience, really good experience. Yeah, just being back in nature, sitting around a campfire. Yeah, as we say in men's group, like we sit in a circle and the imaginary fire in the middle and we've all got each other's back. It was sort of came to light a bit more, actually sitting around a campfire and just talking shit. And
Can you just quickly elaborate that within the complete men's group? What you just mentioned before with that's part of the protocols, if I recall.
yeah,
What that campfire and the circle stands for.
yeah. So it's basically we all sit in a circle. Basically, we see each other's backs. We got each other's backs. We're all equal. It's a safe space to blurt out anything that we've got to share. So yeah,
And then to do it for real, sitting actually around a campfire was just a blessing and
yeah,
an awesome feeling to really be in an actual real open fire and in a circle with men
yeah,
doing their thing.
definitely. Like it wasn't a session, but it was just good to be in nature, sitting around a campfire and just talking shit. You know, yeah,
Yeah, why not? Let that stress off and the monkey off your back for a bit and
yeah.
just bond with everyone there. Okay then, so throughout some of these sessions that you've attended, have you seen like some of the growth in other men as you've gone through each of the sessions or being a part of it? How's that made you feel to watch the growth? Like you've just organized a camp trip,
Yeah.
so what was your take on it when everyone enjoyed themselves? Like, wow, this, you know, how did they feel, and how does that make you feel of what you achieved?
Um, yeah, it definitely was a good feeling that I stepped out of my comfort zone to organise it. I know a lot of the guys sort of needed it. I would have loved to a lot more of the guys to be able to attend, but I think like we're starting to. There's a few guys in the group starting to organise social things. Because for me, being there each week, yeah, we go in, we have our first share break and then second share and a little bit of a conversation at the end. Some guys have to head straight off, but yeah, it's definitely like a bonding experience with it all. And for me, I think that's one thing I'm searching for, connection. Actually getting to know the guys outside of the group, and it's grown so much since you were there. We're getting like 20 plus people. If all the people attended, like we'd probably have like 30 plus people. So it's definitely growing, and the bonds I'm forming, and I know other guys are too. It's become such like a brotherhood. It's I can honestly say like everyone in Complete Men are my brothers. It's that close. So
Oh, that's so amazing to hear, especially through what you've been going through. And look, for someone who's experienced, in your case, maybe possibly someone that's listening to it or watching this podcast channel, what would be some tips or from your own personal experience, a beginner who was interested in attending, what would they expect? Like, what can they do to really take that next step?
yeah, so I guess for out there, and I struggle with it all the time. I'm not alone, even though my brain may tell me lies sometimes. Um, there's a great group of men. Look, there's others out there too. Complete Men doesn't fit everyone, but just come along. we're not going to get you to spill your guts the first time you're there. We tell any new men, share to your comfortability. But yeah, there's always judgment, but I think it was Tim that was telling me there is no judgment there, but I have judgment, but it's for me to own. But it's a safe place. I could share anything in there, and even though maybe feel like I've overshared, it's not what it's about. Like, I'll get a hug afterwards if I'm going through something really difficult. Yeah, as I said, it's like a brotherhood. Like, we all care about each other there. But yeah, we have like our weekly check-in for the first bit. Then we break, have a coffee, talk a bit, and then these days usually someone will be running a process. If it's a big group, yeah, we'll sort of split into two groups. So one will take a process, and
when you say process, what does that entail?
So someone who's stepped up and is going to facilitate, like just going through. The other week was on anxiety and how that makes us feel, and just going through, I guess, yeah, things that relate to us, and sort of working through that, and it might pop something up for me. I tend to go to the other group, which is a deep share group. So a lot of the men we usually have like 2.5, 3 minutes to check in, and sometimes that's not enough time for a man to get out what he needs to. So that's why we have that second group, for a bit more time and to get out more
Of their inner thoughts.
Yeah. The check-in sort of just a brief sort of thing, what's been going on in the week, and yeah, some men might have a bit more to get out, so that's what the sort of second group's all about, and I tend to sort of gravitate towards the second group, just to support other men.
What's maybe one or two things you'd like viewers to remember about the discussion we've had today, just to give them a heads up? Like, what would be a couple of pointers?
So one thing I'm trying to work on at the moment, there's a few things, but I'm trying to live by this too shall pass, where whether I'm feeling down, like in a deep dark hole, tomorrow I might be feeling better. It'll pass. If I'm in a good place and out with the family, this too shall pass. So enjoy that present moment. But yeah, one thing I've struggled with too, my life, is my worth. I think we all have worth, and I'd like everyone to know that they have worth too.
When you say worth, like, can you...
We belong here on this earth. I'd rather talk to a guy for hours on end than be standing there at his funeral.
Would you say that you are constantly still going through the mental battles within?
Absolutely. Every day is different. Um, I went down a deep dark hole not that long ago, where we had a get together with all the guys from the group. But yeah, my my mind was telling me just to end it. Yeah, I had some pills in my car.
Where are you now at this? Are we in a good place now?
We are in a good place at the moment, yeah. But I guess that's what I'm trying to get out is every day is a battle. This too shall pass. Can be in a good place, it'll pass. I know I've got a long road ahead to become who I want to be. Yeah, I think yeah, for me, and I was hearing something the other week too that we all read these self-helping books and listen to all these videos, but until we get to the root cause of that, a lot of people read the books but aren't willing to. I'm not willing to go deeper to get to the root cause of what's going on.
What are some of the resources that you think would be, helpful? What about medical care? Has that?
Yeah, definitely. My wife is constantly on my back about going to see a psychologist, whether it's an excuse. Yeah, it more than likely is that I don't have time. I get up at 4:30 in the morning, don't get home until 5, help out with the kids, and yeah, once we go to complete men. But it's also a guilt thing too. If I was to take another night off to go see a psychologist, or yeah, or even just meditating, like by the end of the day I'm exhausted. Yeah, but I know within myself I've got to go deeper to heal.
Yeah, no. Look, Josh, I agree with you. Every day is a challenge, and as you mentioned, yeah, you can read all the books, you can listen to all the podcasts, motivational videos, but if you aren't taking action, and like you said before, taking ownership is pretty much the best way to take control of your own life. Okay, we're getting close to winding up. Yeah, any final thoughts that you would like to share? And
Well, this month is Suicide Awareness Prevention Month. I know a mate going through a hard time at the moment. I would have hated to think if he didn't show up last Thursday night at Complete Men, what would have happened to him. Yeah, I guess we, on the outside, we don't really know what's going on for someone else. Yeah, and that's one thing I'm trying. Another thing I'm trying to work on and live by is I don't know what someone else is going through. They might seem fine, but I don't know. So try and be kind. Yeah.
oh, and just quickly, I can recall some of the methods that were used in Complete Men was how did they hold people accountable? Like, what were some of the processes to contact guys? What was something that they had in place to to communicate with each other, to hold someone to like, hey, what's going on? What would they?
Yeah, so if it's a guy's first night, we'll usually get a bunch of men at the end, put their hand up if they are willing to give the new man a call. The new man will pick someone, and throughout the week, the man will give them a call just to see how they go. But we've also got a WhatsApp group too, where we just share quotes and memes and see how people are going and all of that. So, yeah.
Oh, cool. Just a good way to keep in communication with each other and ownership.
Yeah.
Which I think is such a cool way to keep that communication, keeping the lines open,
Yeah.
just to make sure if you're feeling what you're feeling, hit us up.
Yeah.
Okay then. So before we finally wrap it up, final thoughts and how could someone wanting to attend Complete Men get a hold of, the site? What would they,
Yeah. So there's a Facebook group for Complete Men, and obviously the official website. Just go on there, sign yourself up. There's one in Rabina of a Wednesday night, and then one I attend, Coomera, of a Thursday night. I usually get there a bit earlier to catch up with the guys, and we usually start at around 7, finish up at 9:30. But yeah.
Cool, man. Thanks for that. It's been a while.
Yeah.
And I've been looking forward to catching up with you. I finally caught up. I know it's under different circumstances,
Yeah.
but I do appreciate you joining me onto the show, and I'd like to also do another one down the track.
Yeah, definitely.
So thanks again for joining me, Josh.
All good, and I
you.
think you're doing a really good thing here, sharing people's stories. I remember way back when your path was to help people, and you're doing it. You're getting out there and doing it, and it's a great thing, and I appreciate you. Yeah.
You too, man. You're doing these setup for the camps, so
Yeah.
we're both sharing and helping out where we can. So
Yeah.
thank you again.
Yeah.